What's up guys, Winter Kills here. Welcome back to a brand new deck profile. Now you guys may have seen the couple matches that I posted recently featuring Burning Abyss, and of course I used to play Burning Abyss a long time ago on the channel. It's still one of my favorite decks of all time. I think the last personal Burning Abyss profile I did that was my deck was February of 2015. So it's coming on about just 4 years now since I've had my own Burning Abyss deck. And it feels really good to be able to play it again. Play it again in quotes, I should say, because I'm going to be playing it like at tournaments and stuff once Cherubini comes out in Dark Neostorm, which releases I think May 5th. This is this deck profile, what it will look like once Cherubini comes out. So this is post Dark Neostorm, if you couldn't tell by the title already. Yeah, so this is my Burning Abyss build for post Dark Neostorm. It's going to look completely different than a lot of the Burning Abyss builds you see now, because Cherubini, I think, allows the deck to play like it once did back in 2014, 2015, which is the play style I really like and I'm used to. Also, real quick shout out to our sponsors over at Imperium Duelists. You guys know, providing some incredible effect sleeves, like these Galaxy sleeves I'm using here in the main deck, and these Shatter Foil sleeves here that are called Diamond Effect, I believe. I actually just picked up like 2 packs of black Diamond Effects and 2 packs of white Diamond Effects, as well as this beautiful playmat here designed by Tom Box himself. You can get it on their website, and all this stuff for 10% off using that code down in the description. So let's go ahead and get into the profile. And to start, we have Triple Skarm, male branch of the Burning Abyss. So most profiles that I've seen recently have only been playing one Skarm, and I can understand why, because a lot of those builds are playing the Danger engine and the Phantom Knight engine, and the deck like plays in a completely different like style right now, and that's why I can see a lot of builds are only playing one Skarm, one Libic, all of these other things, and they're trying to play the deck a little bit more link heavy, a little less reliant on the Burning Abyss engine, using it as solely as an engine, as sort of a you know, a main part in the deck as a whole. So yeah, 3 Skarm in here I think works incredible. This helps your grind game keep going, and the fact that you can just full it off Cherubini if you don't mill it off any of your Dantes is really good. So very, very good card. The next I play 3 Libic, male branch of the Burning Abyss. This is the one that if it's sent to the grave, you can special summon a Dark Fiend, a level 3 Dark Fiend from your hand. So it's any other BA or Edgem Sabers. This card I'm also playing at 3 too, because again with Cherubini, this is an amazing extender to get things out of your hand to end on like double Dante boards, or you know, Dante and maybe Beatrice with Bardich or something like that. It's just a really good extender, and I think playing it at 3 here is justifiable because we do have Cherubini, so like I said, the deck is going to play quite a bit differently. So next we play 3 Farfa. The main reason you'll see me playing a lot more BAs as is usually played right now is because I'm using the Burning Abyss engine to make Dante a lot more, because Cherubini allows for that playstyle. And the main thing with the triple Farfa is the fact that turn 1, this card is really, really useful, not only because you can just special summon to the field for free to be able to make a rank 3 or whatever, or a link, but especially if he's under Dante. If Dante gets removed at any point during your opponent's turn, obviously you'll still have that Farfa from last turn underneath it, so that's a potential wave interruption. Also, you have the effect with you know, Beatrice being able to send it to the graveyard, and Cherubini also being able to foolish this at any point going into an opponent's board is really nice, because it's just a free removal card. So again, 3 Farfa I like in here as well. Then we have the one-ofs, 1 Graph, 1 Seer, of course, would play 3 of each if we could. 1 Calcab, and 1 Alec, and 1 Barbar. So I've contemplated going back to playing like a big BA monster mash build, playing like 3 of every Burning Abyss, for, you know, the exception of a few here and there. Like doing like triple Alec, triple Barbar, playing like Rubik and things of that nature, just so you can take advantage, not necessarily of resolving their effects in grave, but using them to get themselves on field to be able to make better fields with Dante, and just play more Burning Abyss cards and play Burning Abyss essentially, not using it as just a small engine, using it as a deck as a whole. So just all these BAs at 1, because again, they have their utilities, but they're somewhat situational. And again, a lot of these one-ofs that we play can just be sent to the grave for free with Cherubini if need be. So they all have their own, you know, basic effects. And next we have 3 Rhino Warrior. Really good normal summon for the deck, because you can normal summon it and then special any BA or Gallus or whatever, and just go into a Link 2, basically Cherubini to start, and then send a card. If you can't get to Graph, you can just send Graph, and then Graph can summon out something else, and then just go from there. So 3 Phoenix Rhino Warrior, still very good. 3 Gallus. This is a card that is a newer card for me in Burning Abyss, but it's still really good. It's a level 3 that can get itself on field if you don't mill a spell or trap. So very, very helpful for that reason. Making extra Dantes or making making Cherubini, very, very good card. The burn effect is also nice as well. It can come in handy in some games. Then I'm playing 2 Crane. This is another card that I'm liking to play because this is a card that can be made live turn 1, especially with Cherubini and all the other cards that we play. Because you can play cards like Gallus, you play the Psychic Engine in here, you play Phantom Knights and things of that nature. Cards like, you play some cards that let you like go into Dante turn 1 or Cherubini turn 1, which allow you to get a card into your grave that you can use to basically normal summon this and bring it back. So I like this as a nice extender card. When you open up cards like Gallus and the Psychic stuff, this card can be useful turn 1 and turn 2. It's like a pseudo tour guide from grave, so I like this card a lot. So 2 Crane. The next we have double Psychic Wielder. This is a card that I think I've seen some BA builds not want to play currently. And again, this build is posted at Neostorm, but currently I don't think a lot of BA builds are playing this, but this card is fantastic because Cherubini provides that preventing destruction effect similar to Rhino Warrior, but it's only for things that it points to. So if you have a BA that you revived off of like Graph and you put it in the zone that Cherubini's in, then you can just summon this for free, either go into a Virgil, a Brio, or another Dante. So, and then you can use the effective wielder in the grave to destroy something to boost the Synchro Monster's attack as well. So then we also have the double tracker too. I didn't want to play 3 tracker, 3 wielder because you have to have Cherubini on field to either summon this with something else, or you have to be able to doing this at like a starting play with like Gallus or Rhino Warrior and then summoning this and then starting the play, because you don't want to have this card with just BA plays, because then your BAs will just die and then you can't go into Cherubini like you need to. The next I have the Phantom Knight engine. This is an engine that some people argue I should be playing in Orcus, but I believe in the way that people use this card is for, you know, just the Azathoth play and all that stuff. But the main reason I'm playing all these, I'm playing a bigger Phantom Knight engine because it's sort of like PK Fire. These guys, they get in the grave, you can, you know, off Dante, or you can send them off of Cherubini, and you can banish this guy to basically add Fog Blade, so it makes your first turn board really, really strong, and then you can special summon himself if you control Phantom Knight already. So that's really nice. And then I just play the double cloak and the 1 glove. So just like a full Phantom Knight engine. I'm not playing just the 1 boots just to search the quick play or whatever. A full Phantom Knight engine works really, really well in here, in my opinion. Then we have 1 tour guide and 1 Edgem Sabers. Of course, you gotta play the tour guide, and Edgem Sabers is like a card I almost like might play 2 of in here, because this card like facilitates a lot of plays. Just being able to stack a card on top of your deck, mill it to get a BA effect that you otherwise wouldn't be able to get. It's also, and oftentimes, like a really good foolish target off of Cherubini to get your plays going. So that's it for the monsters. No dangers, because again, with like Cherubini being out, like the problems that BA has been having are just like fixed inherently by being able to go into a steady link 2 that doesn't kill your BAs. So it's just really, really nice, and I don't think the dangers are needed in here at all. Although you could play them, not saying you can't, you definitely could. They're just great cards all around. Then we have 2 rank up Magic Astral Force. This is a card that I used to play a lot in old BA a long time ago, and it basically just allows you to rank up your Dante into Pleiades turn 1. So if you can't get into Beatrice or whatever because you don't have another BA in hand, because that can happen sometimes, you can literally just rank up your Pleiades or your Dante into a Pleiades and just have that interruption next turn. So instead of having just Beatrice as interruption, you have Pleiades. And this also has another neat effect where basically you can add this card back from your grave instead of conducting your normal draw, but the turn you do that, the only thing you can do is, the only time you can special summon it is via this card. So you have to basically rank up into Pleiades. And yeah, just basically just target an Ixie's monster with the highest rank on your field, and then you just rank it up 2 ranks higher, and it has to have the same type and attribute, I believe. Yeah, same type and attribute, so a light warrior, so Pleiades fits that bill. Then we have 3 Fog Blade. Of course, Fog Blade is huge in here. You can basically go turn 1, maybe like Dante or Pleiades or Beatrice with Rusty Bardiche, send boots, get 1 Fog Blade, and then banish boots for another one, so you have like a couple interruptions going first. Not to mention this deck can still play going second very, very easily. It's very easy to go into Dante Boral Sword and just play the game that way if you need to going second. So that playstyle hasn't removed itself because of Cherubini. Then I'm playing 2 Firelake. This is a card that is so underestimated, I feel like, because I feel like back row hate isn't the most main decked thing at the moment. And this card will catch a lot of people off guard, especially because if you can end with like Fog Blade and a Firelake, and especially since this deck can end on boards that have 2+ BA monsters on your field, that you can use this card to send them, get all your effects, and then just remove 3 cards from your opponent's field. So going against Sky Striker, if they don't remove this card, if they have to remove some other card, you can basically just end phase, Firelake them, and then they just lose so many cards, and then you just continue to plus off your Firelake because you sent like Dante's, or Dante with a Graph underneath it, or a Scarm, and just add back tons of cards for next turn. Then lastly, 1 Wing Blast. This is just attack. This honestly would be a 3rd Firelake. I just don't have a 3rd Firelake. But Wing Blast isn't bad. Just discard a card and put something back to your opponent's top of their deck. And this is also like discard traps are also like something I want to like try and play more of, because a lot of times you still have a couple cards left over in your hand that you might be able to trigger their effects with, like Farfas or Alex or Calcabs, and so you get like 2 effects off of 1 card essentially. So that's it for the main deck. Should be 40 cards. Now we will go into the extra deck. Alright, so to start for the extra deck, of course, we've got the star of the show, Dante, Traveler of the Burning Abyss. I wanted to play 3 of these, but I don't think it's necessary, mainly because you can recycle this card so incredibly easily, and I think the sake of cutting 1 for some extra key cards is okay. So of course, double Dante, I think that's pretty standard. Then we have 1 Stone King Darius and Breaksword. These cards on their own are really fantastic. I've like never summoned this card, but I probably will someday to out like a Borolo Dragon. This card's really good. For that reason, obviously the Breaksword play, to be able to go into you know, a rank 4 afterwards possibly, and just remove extra cards, especially some of this in zone that Bardiche points to. You get to do basically 2 pops, 1 with Bardiche, and then using this card afterwards. Then next we have 1 Evil Swarm Nightmare. This is basically my go-to rank 4 after the Breaksword goes off if you have the materials engraved. I wanted to be able to have the option for a rank 4 play afterwards, because you literally just get cards for free, and I figured I could either link with them or I could go into a rank 4, and I didn't want to really pass up this card because I think it's pretty good against a lot of decks. Good against decks like Thunder Dragon, could be good against Altergeist and things of that nature, so I don't think it's too bad of a card overall. Then we have some other Xyz, of course, the 1 Pleiades to go into off Rank Up Magic, and then the 1 Beatrice, of course, got to play that as well. So that's it for the Xyz. Now we'll go into the links. Starting with what might as well be the most important link that we don't currently have yet, but we'll have in the future, is 2 Cherubini. Black Angel of the Burning Abyss. That probably won't be its TCG legal name, but oh well, it's a pretty badass name. Basically, it just requires 2 level 3 monsters to go into this link too, with 500 attack. It's a fairy, dark, and basically, monsters this card points to cannot be destroyed by card effects, and it says if this card would be destroyed by battle or card effects, or opponent's card effects, you can send 1 other card you control to the graveyard. And then you can send 1 level 3 monster from your deck to the graveyard, and then target 1 Burning Abyss monster on the field. It gains attack and defense equal to the attack and defense of the monster sent until the end of this turn. And then you can only use this effect of Cherubini Black Angel once per turn. So the first effect, to protect itself, you can use as many times as you have cards to send. The other effect, a Foolish one, is a hard once per turn, obviously. So basically you can just send like Sabers, and then Sabers boost this up by 12, putting him to 17. And the send is for cost. The actual effect that activates is the attack gain. So you would be able to get around Ash with this card because it does send for cost, which is really nice. All around, just a fantastic card. Like, there's so many ways to get into this card turn 1, and then just continue your plays that you might not be able to otherwise by just getting like basically a free Foolish Burial on your field, and then it's hard to kill it because you can just keep sending things on your field. Then I play 1 Phoenix, 1 Unicorn, 1 Bardiche. I wanted to play some Nightmares in here. The Bardiche I feel like you also have to play as well. So those are that, and then we have one Boral Sword. I'm not playing Borreload because I wanted to play the rank 4 target for the what is it, Break Sword. So you could play Borreload, but I'm just gonna play the one Boral Sword because I feel like first turn Borreload isn't that great. Obviously, a Borreload going second could be very helpful depending on what they have, but I feel like Boral Sword is often enough to get the job done. So I think just one Boral Sword is fine. Then I play one Brio. I was also gonna play this card right here. I really like this card too. They both have their merits, but this card has to discard any card. This has to discard a BA, and this can bounce as many cards. This can only spin one. If this dies, you draw. If this dies, you don't get anything. But like, I think Brian X fine to play because like having access to basically a field spin and then a ton of effects afterwards is really, really strong. And you just go into this with like any level 3 and the Psychic Wielder. This guy right here. So just Psychic Wielder, any other level 3 gets you right into this, and then you can use his other effect, which is basically target one monster on the field with less attack than the Sacred Monster used for this card's material, destroy it, and then yeah, it's pretty nice. And you can go into this card, like I said, really, really easy, so might as well play it. And then last but not least, the Pilgrim. One Dante Pilgrim to summon off your Beatrice if they do decide to kill it. Because I didn't want to miss out on that effect if it does come up. So I can show you guys basically just one random hand of how this deck operates sort of after Cherubini comes out, just to show you the basic play style. So we'll go ahead and set up for that real quick. Alright, so I've shuffled everything up. Hopefully we don't just brick extremely hardcore here. And let's draw into a hand and see what kind of play we can make. Of course, if you guys want to see this deck in action, I have a couple duel videos with this deck out, so if you want to check that out, they'll be annotated at the end. Last 20 seconds of the video should be something you can click on, or something in the top right corner of the screen if you also want to check that out as well. So we'll just get started here. We'll normal the Rhino Warrior, and then we'll special, let's say, Calcab, and then we'll just link these two into Cherubini. So pretty standard play here. Cherubini, and then we'll use Rhino Warrior to send Graph. And then Graph will special summon, we could special summon Seer, or we could special summon another BA and just try to mill a Seer. So in this case, I'm just going to go for Seer just to be safe. We could also just use Seer to, you know, off of the Cherubini if we don't get it either. But I think for this one, I'm just going to summon Seer in the zone that he points to, and then we can use Psychic Tracker, summon this. And we don't even have to use Cherubini's effect at this point to be able to get into a Dante. We can if we need to, but at this moment we don't. So we won't just use it yet until we know we need to. So we'll go into Dante. We'll use his effect. We'll mill 3. 1, 2, 3. Triple Scarm. That's probably because I didn't shuffle my deck too well. So we're definitely getting a Scarm effect later. So we'll just revive one of the. Actually, no, we'll revive a Graph. Let's revive a Graph over here, and then. We could do one of two things. We could either use Cherubini here to send like Edgem Sabers to the grave, and then Edgem Sabers can stack this, or we could use it to send Libic to get this on field, and then you know either mill the or detach the Graph and have this under the Dante for next turn, or we could not use Cherubini, or we could use Cherubini just to get the Scissors Engrave, just to have later on, and then we could just link into Bardiche and have the Bardiche Double Fog Blade with Pleiades because we did open up a rank of Magic. But just for the sake of this video, I think I'm just going to use, we'll leave this Engrave actually, and we'll use the Seer to special summon a Scarm since we already have one Engrave, and then we'll just go into a double Dante, then we'll mill the Scarm, mill 3 more, 1, 2, 3. So we milled Tour Guide, Libic, and Rhino Warrior. Not the greatest, but again, you probably don't have to mill 3 there. I'm just doing it just to show off. Then we'll just use this to get something engraved. We could send Boots, honestly. We could send Boots and then use Boots to grab a Fog Blade, like that. And then we can basically just rank up one of our Dantes into a Pleiades. We have a Far Fund to this one, so we'll rank up that one. And it also prevents them from just being able to freely spin our Dante, because we'll get an effect either way, because it will hit the graveyard since it's now immaterial. So yeah, that's what we end on. Pretty decent field. Like I said, we could have used the Cherubini to send Scissors to make more plays. We could have easily ranked up into a Borreload, or Boral Sword, I should say, and just gone full aggro, but we didn't need to. And yeah, next turn we're drawing a Fog Blade, which is, again, I probably didn't shuffle too well since we literally milled 3 Scarm. But either way, that's just sort of a little sneak peek of what this deck looks like after Neostorm with Cherubini. I'm so excited to play this deck with Cherubini. I just don't like playing it currently. It doesn't feel like BA to me. It just feels like using very little BA to make plays that aren't BA. I don't know. Just like I said, just doesn't feel like BA to me. BA feels just like a little tiny engine in there that you just gets used sometimes. So that's going to be it for this profile. I'll probably be doing a test hand video at some point as well, just to go through some random hands with these this deck to show you guys how it sort of plays out. And yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. If you want to pick up Burning Abyss, I'd probably do it now, because I feel like when Cherubini comes out, prices will go up probably. That's just the nature of things. And yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Don't forget to check out Premium Duelist. Follow me on social medias. Join Discord, especially if you want to see me test this deck live. Follow me on Twitch. All that stuff. So as you guys want to kill signing out. We'll see you in the next one.